What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've been working on my brother's wagons these last 2 weeks and I kind of forgot about my own. I think what I'm going to do in today's video is I'm just going to assess my engine bay a little bit, take off things that we're going to be changing, taking out things we're not going to be needing, and also I'm hoping by the end of this video I'm gonna lay some new paint down on the valve cover. The valve cover is being a little stubborn right now with the paint that's on it, and I've just been stripping it for a little while now. Gloves still on because the stripper is not fun to be on your skin. But anyways, I'm just trying to make some progress towards my car while we wait for parts for my brother's brown wagon that's currently on jack stands here on the driveway, and hopefully we'll resume back on that soon. But right now I'm gonna strip down the valve cover a little bit more and then we'll dive into the engine bay of that car. Right now it's currently on the second coat of stripper. I mean, it's got most of it off. The pressure washer did do a decent job, but there were some areas that still had a bunch of paint that just won't come off. I'm not worried about it still having paint on here, because once I get all of this taken off with the pressure washer, whatever's left I'm just going to sand it, and then we'll do some primer, base coat, clear coat in between working on the engine bay. My car is kind of way up on the driveway here where it is past my lamp, so hopefully this Harbor Freight light shows you guys a little bit of what I'm trying to explain, because I like talking your ears off. But I've been debating on taking everything out, sanding this bay down, and respraying it. Although it looks decent the way it is. This thing was resprayed in 2014, and obviously it's been taking a beating because I've swapped motors in and out of this thing 1,000 times now, and especially the front end, because this is where I'm working at the most with taking off the T-bar and radiators and all that. All this paint right here, all these chips are starting to rust up a little bit, and you know, it's not really noticeable when the brackets and everything are on, but because I know it and now you guys know it, it doesn't really bother me, but it's like I'm already here. Do I want to touch it up or do I want to respray the bay? I'm not shooting for like show quality. My days with that is over. I'm really just building this car for my enjoyment, and as long as it runs and drives well, that's all I'm worried about. I think honestly I might just touch it up. I think I have a little bit of this paint still in the cabinet somewhere, even though it's kind of old. It would probably make this bay look better being gray than being white, orange, green, whatever other color that's underneath here. But anyways, that's besides the fact. Right now what I want to do is I am going to be changing up the charge harness system, because this obviously has two in it, one for alternator, one for starter. And the way I did it in the sedan by your guys' recommendation is bridging the starter to the alternator and just running one. So I'm going to pull this through, I'm going to strip it down, and because my engine harness goes over the trans into this hole, I'm going to route this along with the engine harness to come together, so that way it's not like routed how it was before, which was all the way out here like that. So I'm going to pop this out real quick. This dashboard might come back out of the car because I want to rebuild the hydro conversion system for the clutch. Not too certain yet. All right, so we have the charge harness taken out, and this thing has one going to the fuse box right here, and then one goes to the distribution, which is for my battery location in the rear. So what I need to do is, which one am I going to keep? I think I'm going to take it off from the fuse box, run the alternator or the power wire directly from the battery all the way to the starter, and then it bridged from the starter to the alternator, and the alternator is now going to be charging directly to the battery instead of running through the circuit system here. So I have the charge harness separated right here, and I'm only going to be needing one when I put it all back together, but I'm not going to modify it right now because, you know, I don't know lengthwise from the fuse box around the engine, transmission to the starter. So when I put the harness back onto the engine, once it comes off the stand, then we'll mock it up and then we'll terminate it and length it accordingly. But for right now, we're just going to put this off to the side somewhere there. No, the harness is over here. Leave that all together right there. get my flashlight, get back into the engine bay here, pull out a few more things. I'm going to be pulling out the fuel pressure regulator and the old lines. So this right here has been down here. When did I go K-swap in this car? 2015 I went K-swap, and this is a Downstar filter that I bought way back in the days, and this thing has been here for as long as I can remember. This filter has never been separated, has never been cleaned, although this car has only been on 91 pump gas. But this line right here, we're gonna be no, actually, you know what, this one's gonna, no, actually it's gonna change as well too, because I bought a new filter. So I'm getting rid of the small filter to put on a bigger filter. We're gonna be changing out the fuel pressure regulator. This is an eBay unit that came on the parts car that's been in my car since 2015, and it has worked perfectly fine. Although I don't have a fuel pressure gauge, we don't even know where the fuel pressure in this car has been set all of these years. But I'm gonna move it out of here because I kind of liked it a little bit more tucked over here, but mainly because these inlets are really small, and these are all barbs with dress up and adapters. These aren't even AN lines, they're just dress ups. So I want to switch everything to AN, probably end up changing this one as well too, but the entire fuel line regulator setup is all going to change. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one off, and all of these guys here off as well too. Ooh, see, it's got fuel in it still. That was a waste of $6. All right, good old faithful eBay regulator. Save you for a different project. Fun fact, in 2014, this entire car got resprayed from white to gray, and when I had swapped my motor in from the top, you guys always wonder why I swap motors from the bottom now, right? The last time I've ever used a crane was this car. The engine slipped off the strap, came down, dented my tower right here, and I pulled the engine out. And then what I did was I scuffed the entire engine bay again to respray it and re-clear it. So if you look, you can kind of see it's squished right there. This was all squished, that dent right there on the top. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons why I stopped using a cherry picker. But you know, doing it from the bottom has worked well for me as well too, and it avoids scratching stuff when dropping it to the engine bay. I've always had a bad habit of scratching all the frame rails when I drop an engine from the top, so going from the bottom avoids all of that. But that is the story of why I no longer own a cherry picker. But now that I've taken the regulator off, yeah, look at that missing paint right there. So if I can find the paint, I'll probably I think I'm just going to scuff it up and then dab some primer, dab some, what color was this? Cement gray from Scion TC. Some cement gray, dab it all up, and then just dab some clear coat on it. Maybe give it a light polish after like a week of drying, and then just let it be. Because if I go too deep into this with stripping everything out to respray it, oh, it's gonna take me very long, and then it's gonna throw me off the track of what I'm trying to do with these cars here in the driveway. Now the second coat of stripper took off like 98% of the paint from the valve cover. Happy about that. There were some paint in between all these little crevices, right in between here, and I took the wire wheel to wire it all down. So the valve cover is ready for the next prep, which was supposed to be the DA, but I decided, you know what, before I hit it with the DA to make it nice and smooth, I'm gonna cut this off, I'm gonna weld it shut and grind it flat. Now it looks cleaner, obviously. Secondly, I have the bungs already in the back here for the catch can, and if there was any type of blow by, which that motor doesn't, knock on wood, I don't want any oil spitting out of here and landing on the transmission, because everything's gonna be nice and painted. I don't want it to, like, you know, put oil on the trans, dirt get on it, and then it gets caked up, and then defeats the purpose of making the engine pretty. Now I hit it with the DA, and if there was any low spot, ouch, that was hot. If there was any low spot, I would have seen it, but I think we're looking good. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with the DA, and then we'll start masking all the areas that we don't want paint to get on. So last night got a little too late, and I didn't want to do the paint work into the night. My friend reminded me that paint needs to be at a certain temperature for it to like activate correctly, harden correctly, and I decided to just wait till the next day, today, to entirely focus on getting this valve cover painted. You guys probably heard the saying, put rattle can in hot water before usage. Yes, that works, but the clear coat portion of this valve cover is going to be automotive grade clear coat through an HVLP gun, so putting it in hot water may not work the same. So today is 98 degrees, and the clear coat should dry really nicely, baking up in the sun. Hopefully we get the clear coat laid down before the sun, but you guys are also probably wondering why I don't have a sweater on. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get all the areas masked off that we don't want painted. You can buy the plugs for the specific valve cover just to avoid taping it, but I kind of enjoy it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that quick, and then we'll get this thing in primer. This Max Pini Rod washer right here for the coilover system fits perfectly on the grommet, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on blue tape, cut a bunch of them out, and then transfer. Got some Sem-Solve. It's an empty can, but should be enough. So I got the valve cover all masked up, everything that I don't want paint on. And it's funny that I taped these guys up because, like, we're not going to be using them, but you know, at least make it look somewhat factory. Spray some Sem-Solve. Okay, so I think I'm going to paint it right here, and then I'm gonna let it bake out in the sun, because if I take it over there, it might dry too fast. So normally I just use, like, you know, high build primer or something, but you know, because that's a valve cover, I'm just gonna use high temp primer that I use for the engine right here, just to make it that much more durable, I guess. But honestly, way back in the days, regular freaking primer, multi-purpose primer, and whatever rattle can, Rust-Oleum, I used whatever back in the days. But this time around, at least do it, I guess, somewhat proper, but it's still rattle can. I'm using my phone to make sure the GoPro is still on with the red flashing light on the top. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get underneath here first. Got it all nice and covered up. I'm gonna give it 2 coats of primer, and then we'll get into the base. I'm gonna let this sit out here for about 5 minutes because it is in direct sunlight. Oh my god, man, you guys have no idea how hot this valve cover is. Literally feels like it came out of a freaking oven. I guess that's good. So it's been about 15 minutes now, baking up the second coat of primer, and this looks good. Color looks nice, but this is just primer. Okay, so I got this black paint that I kind of found in my stash. This is a Chrysler color called Brilliant Black Pearl, and if I remember correctly, the color here has like rainbow metallics in it. yeah, you guys, I don't think you guys can see it, but I'm hoping that after I lay down the clear coat, I can give you guys a better look on this. I mean, it looks nice, it looks black, and then up close it's got that galaxy color. So yeah, I mean, let's get to spraying this. I'm trying my best to get all the nooks and crannies because this is the only can that I have, and this thing is like halfway right now. So trying to get all the edges first, and then, you know, we'll layer as much as we can until this can is empty. Honestly, I should have just done flat black first to cover everything, and then hit this with the rest of the you know, the layers. I found my old HVLP spray gun in a box, and I figured I would use this for the valve cover clear coat. And this is from a company called Smart. I got it from my local paint shop. They told me it was a good beginner's gun, although I was using this in between the Harbor Freight stuff. I bought this like maybe over 10 years ago, and I'm hoping that it still sprays pretty decent. I do have this little cup on top because I don't have the original one, and this is plenty to do the valve cover, you know, in between coats. If I need to mix up more, I'll mix up more. But I think what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna mix up the first cup for the first layer of clear coat, and I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of the Roth Flakes Badass Blue, and then if we end up using the entire thing, we'll mix up the second clear coat without the metallic, just in case this is a little bit thick, which I don't think it is. I don't want it to kind of peek through the layers of clear coat. If you guys paint with metallic, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So let's go ahead and mix up this first cup, and I'm using literally half a cup cleaned out just to measure. This calls for a 2 parts to 1, and I have the hardener right here, the activator. For a day like this, I should be using slow, but I only have medium, so we're just gonna rock with it. That is 1, 2. This right here, medium activator. Okay, right here I'm gonna grab a little kebab stick to mix, and I don't have a spoon to measure out. I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle off my elbow some badass blue flakes. Well, it's so light, it's flying this way before it even lands inside the cup. But I've seen people dunk like spoons, tablespoons. Oh, this is gonna look crazy. I wonder how this is gonna flow with the metallic that's already on the brilliant black paint. Oh wow, I don't want to go crazy with the flakes because I don't want the valve cover to look more blue. I want it to look black, and then on the light it looks blue. I'm setting up this rack because we're going to be painting the bottom edge, obviously, so I don't want it to, like, you know, sit on full cardboard and take off the paint slash clear coat. Guess it's safe to say that this gun is going to be 100% retired now. I didn't want to use this one because it doesn't have a lid, but this will do. Oh wow, that looks so good. Oh, I'm actually loving this. And it does blend in with the brilliant black. You can see all the other metallic underneath the blue. You guys can't see it, but hopefully I'll include some photos at the end of the video, guys, to show you this thing in the light with a bunch of clear coat, nice and glossy. But I'm gonna go ahead and just push this thing out to the sun, let it dry up, and we'll mix up some clear with no flakes, and hopefully we can make this thing super glossy. Oh my goodness. All right, so this right here is straight clear coat, no flakes, and let's get this valve cover all nice and glossy. Ooh, man, because it is hot out, I did go heavy with the coat, and it is looking really good. All right, I'm probably gonna push this out one more time, and then I'm gonna hit it with one more coat, because I do have like a little under half, so I'm just gonna kill this on the third. But oh my goodness, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to wait until this dries up, and then we'll show you guys. All right guys, so this thing has been drying here for like an hour and a half now, and we're obviously losing the daylight, and it's going to be hard for you guys to see the color. So obviously brilliant black with badass blue flakes. You guys can see all the flake right there. You guys can't see the brilliant color underneath the flake, but here in real time you can see all the red, the greens, and the other color in the brilliant black. But just want to show you guys that flake in it though. This thing is super nice and shiny. I did bomb a bunch of clear coat on it, and the only run that I have is right here. I don't know if you guys can see it right there, right? But other than that, super clean all around, especially the front end, because this is the part that faces the front of the engine. Nice and clean. I took off all of the masking. Don't worry, I'll throw some pictures at the end of the video, but oh my goodness, look at the inside. I'm not sure if I'm gonna run the K-tune cover, because that's gonna scratch up the paint. I might not run it. I don't know, we might. Oh, actually, you know what, I might take the K-tune cover and put it in my sedan. But dude, check it out. I'm letting it cure a little bit more. It's already dry to the touch. Let me see on the inside here. It's already dry to the touch, but I'm gonna let it dry up a little bit more. Then we'll put a gasket on it and throw it on the wagon's K20 engine. But damn, I'm gonna reuse these grommets right here. I already cleaned them up. They look pretty clean as far as the rubber goes. And I do have a brand new Honda K-Series valve cover gasket 12341-RTA-000. And I'm going to be installing this right here. Got to get some RTV on the edges where the timing cover meets the cylinder head, as well as this rocker that meets the cylinder head, just so it doesn't leak right here. These Acorn 10mm nuts right here, I got from the junkyard from the newer Honda Accord. Got a handful of these just to have around just in case I want to switch up the theme or something. And I think with this color valve cover choice, these will flow really nicely. We have the K20R black dipstick. This right here, I need to grab another one just so it makes it look cleaner in my sedan as well too. Because the orange one, ugh. I am going to use the OEM oil cap because I don't have another one. And some of the ones in the market for the K series, I don't really like them because they sit too tall. So until I find one that I like, I'm going to use this OEM one for now. Tell me you guys can see the flakes. Oh my goodness. If you guys are fishermen, you guys know some of the baits have this sort of metallic. Oh my goodness. Damn. This pretty valve cover for a car that's gonna sit. Hell yeah. Finally got my valve cover painted right here. Achieved what I was after. I want it to be black from afar, that when you get up close, you'll see the badass blue flakes. Now I did put a little twist to it. It was supposed to be black base with badass blue flakes in the clear, but I had the brilliant black line around from a previous project, so I ended up just using that as the base, which had all the other colors in the metallic and then the badass blue flakes on top. So if you look at it up and closely, you'll see all the other color in it as well. I think it looks freaking awesome, and I can't wait to plant this thing back into the engine bay to see how it looks all together. Because there are still a few things that I'm going to paint, which is going to tie everything together, but we're not entirely sure yet what I'm going to do. The intake manifold, the turbo housing, the compressor housing, the charge pipes. I guess we'll figure all that out as we go. Some of you guys might comment that, you know, powder coating is going to be more durable than rattle can, but honestly, I've done rattle can on valve covers like growing up, literally, and I've had no issues all of these years other than me being clumsy, dropping it, chipping the paint off, but it has never actually lifted from the heat of the engine bay, whether it's all motor or turbo. So I'm sure this is going to be okay. Rattle can primer, high temp primer on top of that. Duplicate color, brilliant black spray can, and then automotive clear in HVLP spray gun. We did a lot of layers. That's going to harden over time because it's not going to go into the car for a while, so it's got all this time to cure, but I have no doubt in mind that this is going to hold up to the heat, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy the way it turned out, you know, at the end of the day. Worst comes to worst, I have like 20 valve covers combined from the garage and the storage unit. I'll probably rebung another one and send it off for powder coating or something just to have it as a backup. Maybe choose a different color or something, I don't know, but you know, I think for right now, this is going to work out perfectly fine. Now, before I close out this video, I do have two packages right here on the floor, and it's odd enough that both packages came from two different people, but they have the same labels on them. This little package right here came from the homie Eugene, CRX Dude. If you guys don't know, this is the guy that I get all my EF stuff from, especially all the little clips and stuff that you normally break when you take them off the car. CRX Dude on Instagram sent me this package, and this is what I mean by same label. This right here in the back says Versatile Wiring. I know who this is. I know where they're from. I know what they do. But I'm curious to why CRX Dude sent me this. Something in here is probably in relations to Versatile Wiring. Let's see what's inside. In another packaging. Oh, it's like a little swag pack. We have a lanyard, which has, oh wow, this is pretty cool. It's got a CRX, a hatch, a sedan, and a wagon etched in here. It's a lanyard. Definitely gonna rock this. They know my color, man. That's that's freaking cool. We have a pen. It says Versatile Wiring on there with the website. Inside here we have, oh, I know what this is. I see it all over Facebook from Versatile Wiring, and this is actually a TPS calibration tool. What it is you put this into the TPS sensor, and then you connect this one to the factory plug, and then you have these terminals here. Instead of putting your multimeter into these pins, jamming the pins in to get a connection to read voltage, ground, and signal, it is actually bridged to these spade terminals right here, to where you can just check it here instead of, you know, messing up your plugs and wiring. I've actually done this a lot of times, to where these wires actually then pop out over time from the terminals itself. So, you know, this right here will prevent future problems, but also help you calibrate your TPS sensor easily. So this came from Eugene, but shout out to Versatile Wiring for making a tool like that. Here's the little instructions right here. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Every time I do TPS calibrations, I know it off the top of my head, but like sometimes I forget the wiring, and I always have it popped up on my laptop or my phone to make sure I'm, you know, pulling signals on the correct pins per the instructions. So this is probably going to get pinned on the wall, like with all of these guys right here, just so I can look over and see them all there. So I'm gonna have that on the wall just to make it easier for future calibrations. And then the funny thing is, I went to the PO box to pick up this package, and this package came from Versatile Wiring themselves, literally from Salem, Oregon. Cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. Oh. I tell you what, I can smell some air fresheners or something coming out of this package, man. It is strong. Right off the bat, this box is labeled dual fan relay kit. Super funny that we had gotten this at this time, because the wagon's full-size radiator has 2 spalls on it, and they are just bridged together. and they've been working like that. But I'm pretty sure it's not working at full potential because there's no relay to it. Man, this box is smelling fresh. Love the channel. Thanks, Dana. Hopefully you can put this kit to good use. Ricardo, I've been following you for a while. Perfect case swap solution. Honda Acura dual fan kit information. This is literally the instructions on how to install this relay kit. So if you guys grab one of these, this is going to make it easier for you guys to install it. And sure enough, another care package. Lanyards, some pens, some pretty cool air fresheners. Oh, these smell really good. This dual fan relay setup is insane. I've never seen 2 relays in a housing before, and it also looks like it has all the correct gauge wiring as well too. Now, if you're running an aftermarket fan, it's best that you run a relay to it, whether it's a single or a dual fan setup. The reason for the relay is because it'll give the fan the correct voltage it needs to run at full to draw the amount of CFM that it is rated for. Now, my KRX has 2 7.5-inch fans, which draws at like 400 or something, which is pretty weak, but the KRX has never had any overheating issues, knock on wood. On my sedan, I have a 13-inch spall fan, which draws about 1150 CFM, and it is currently on the stock wiring system. If I put a relay into the sedan right now, the fan will get the power that it needs, and it's going to run a little bit louder, and it's going to pull a lot more out of the radiator, in return cooling the radiator off much quicker. Honestly, it cools down really fast right now, but if I have it full power, I'm not going to worry about temperature in that car. In the H2B car, it has a SF drag style radiator with a 9-inch spall fan, which only draws about 590 CFM, not a lot at all, and currently still running on the factory wiring for the fan. If I put a relay on that, it probably would crank it up a little bit, but still, I don't think it's enough for like street driving. So hopefully soon with the H2B car, I'm gonna try to figure out something with the cooling system. That's why I haven't driven it, because it does get a little hot when you drive it for a long period of time. But for the wagon has 2 spall fans, one 11-inch, one 9-inch, and they're both on the factory wiring system. Now, if I put this into the wagon, I most definitely don't have to worry about the cooling when I drive it long period at a time, because normally when I do drive the wagon, it's always to like SoCal or up north or something, and I always got to keep an eye on my temperature on the V4 on my phone, because I don't trust the S2K cluster. I think with this relay system into the wagon, when I reassemble it, I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with the cooling system. So big shout out to Ricardo from Versatile Wiring for sending this dual fan relay kit and the swag pack right there. Also, these are the wirings to the fan, just to make sure that they connect like that. And there is a bracket right here for the relay. So if you guys are interested in a dual fan setup, be sure to hit up the link in the description below to Versatile Wiring website and show your boy some support out of Salem, Oregon. We're gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the progress update on the wagon a little bit. We stripped out the engine bay and we finally painted the valve cover. If you guys enjoyed the progress, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around I got 2 transmissions on the way. I sent out the clutch for my brother to get rehubbed today as well too. It's gonna be a lot of work coming soon. If you guys want to stick around and see some wagon stuff, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.